Okay, so here it is, The Incredible Hulk number 181. This book in perfect condition would probably sell for over $30,000. So we're gonna stick this back in very carefully. Yeah, we'll tape it up and what? Hey guys, it's DT and welcome back to another big unboxing here on the channel. So February must be Wolverine month because earlier this month we opened up the Logan premium format figure. I've got this box right here and I've also got two other big Wolverine boxes over there. But before we get to those, I thought we'd start off with how it all began in this comic book right here, The Incredible Hulk 181. Wolverine actually made his first appearance in issue 180 on the very last panel, but this issue featured his first full appearance. This is one of the most sought after comic books of the Bronze Age, and I've got this one in a 9.6 with off-white pages. I actually have two more. I've got an 8.5 with off-white to white pages, and also an 8.5 with white pages. So I have a funny story regarding this book right here. I was actually gonna make a video on submitting this book and getting it graded by CGC, but something interesting happened. And if you guys wanna see what happens, make sure to watch all the way to the end of the video. Getting to the point of our unboxing, they actually made a statue based on the cover here of this comic book. It's been around for some time, but they still have them at Sideshow Collectibles if you want to pick one up. I believe the price is $649, which is not bad considering you get two characters, when most premium format figures these days are around that same price. So without further ado, let's open this up. So I got these things because photoshopping claws onto your hands is a pain in the butt, and it's much easier to use these. But can they open a box? Here it is, The Incredible Hulk and Wolverine. Okay, let's see what we have in the top layer. Oh. Okay, so let's get this all unwrapped so you guys can see it a little better. Okay, so here's a little better look at the contents. We have Hulk's body, Hulk's head. We have two portraits for Wolverine, and we also have Wolverine's hands right here. So first let's take a look at the Hulk portrait. He has an enraged face with a wide open mouth, very similar to the exclusive portrait that we saw on the Gladiator Hulk that we showed you guys before. Here's Wolverine with his modern cowl or mask. He's got the clenched teeth. He's got really long teeth on the bottom. And here is the exclusive portrait. This is his classic cowl from when he first appeared in Marvel Comics. Here they are side by side. Old Wolverine versus new Wolverine. Which one do you guys like better? I think most people would agree that the new Wolverine cowl looks a lot better. However, I'm probably going to display this piece with the classic cowl just because I'm going to be putting it next to a big poster that I have of Hulk 181. And I also have several other Wolverine statues which feature this mask, so this one will be a classic statue for me. Here we have the two hands. These are very long blades. Very nice detailed paintwork on the hands. And finally, we have Mr. Hulk here. And to be expected, this guy is pretty heavy. I'm not sure how long I can hold this up here, but take a look at that. Keyhole there for Wolverine to fit in. Shredded purple pants. Big dirty feet. Let's take a look at the bottom level. Okay, so here's a look at the contents. We've got Wolverine's body, and we've got two parts of the base. We've got the main part with a big log, and a second broken log right here. So first let's take a look here at Wolverine. And as you can see, for being a smaller scale statue, this is still very detailed. We've got the metal shoulder pads with some scratches in them. We've got his classic costume, and there is quite a bit of texturing as well as on his legs. Boots look really nice. We've got little folds. Okay, here's a piece of a log that's broken off. Again, this looks really good. Looks like wood. And here is the main base. You can see we've got Hulk's footprint right there. Looks like there's a big magnet as well as keyholes there with the big magnet right there. This is number 889 out of 2,500. So they did make quite a few of these. Okay, so let's take this out and put it all together. Okay, so I've got all the pieces scattered out on the table here. Of course, we're gonna start off with the base. And like I said before, this base isn't extremely heavy, so we're gonna lift him up. Oh. And put his foot right in there. I think the next piece will be this broken log. Looks like Hulk has just stepped on it with his left foot and smashed it into two. Very strong magnet there. Let's give Hulk his head to complete him. You could leave the statue like this, except he's got a big hole in his right arm, and that is where we're gonna insert Wolverine. Wolverine's got this big key right here, and it just fits in like that. Let's put in his right hand, his left hand. So let's put the classic one on him first. Looks pretty cool. There is a seam line on his neck there, just because we've got yellow meeting yellow. So of course you're gonna see a seam whenever the colors are the same. There's not really a crease to hide that. And we also see a seam on the Hulk too, but his neck is a little wrinkled and creased. The guy doesn't have a shirt on, so you can't really hide it with clothes. And we'll take that off right now to show you guys what it looks like with this portrait. They changed it from this one to that one, so I think it's pretty clear that this is the better mask. However, I'm gonna keep this on just to keep that classic look. So here's a look all the way around. We've got a rock base, lots of different colored rocks. We can see little gravelly pieces. We've got a big tree that has fallen down. And of course the Hulk has smashed it in two. There's some really nice texture on the wood, both on the outside bark as well as on the inside of the tree. Moving on up to the Hulk, really detailed feet. You can see his veins in his feet, the musculature in his calves. We have some wrinkling and skin folds in his heel. He's got texture in his purple pants, which of course are ripping. His ripped shirt is still hanging off of his pants. And moving up, we can see all the muscles in this guy. You can see muscle striations in his pectorals. His obliques are popping out. His abs are super defined. Everything you'd want in a Hulk. I really like the sculpt of his left hand, how it's just out there waiting to grab Wolverine. His right hand's in a fist, and the rage in his face is spot on. His muscles are a little over-exaggerated. Definition in his shoulders and traps is just not something you see every day. So of course, he's a comic book character. His arms are like 3 times the size of his head, which is definitely not normal. Then we've got Wolverine over here. He's probably one of the shortest superheroes. So there's some nice texture in his costume. It's very similar to the Wolverine premium format, and that one is a quarter scale. So 1/6 scale statues are usually a little less detailed. It's harder to paint a smaller statue and get all those fine details, but they did a really good job with this one. Painting, the shading on the muscles is really nice. So the one criticism people had on this was that his claws right here are very long. So Wolverine's claws retract into his forearm. So obviously you can't have claws that are longer than your forearm, otherwise they'd be sticking out of your elbow. So Wolverine's classic mask, of course, he's got the smaller little fins here by the ears. You can also see a little indentation where his ears are. He's got these little 2 stripes that come off of the nose and go around the mouth line of the cowl. He's got like a slight underbite, really long incisors. Actually, all his teeth look really long on the bottom. He's got little cutouts for his eyes, and you can actually see his eyes through there. Whereas in the mask portrait, his eyes are usually whited out. This one reminds me more of a masked wrestler. I'll take this portrait off, I'll put this one on, and let's compare it to the Sideshow premium format Wolverine. So here is premium format Wolverine. We've seen him before in the Logan video. This guy is a 1/4 scale statue. So of course he's got a little more detail. He's standing on the Sentinel hand base. So you can see the difference in size of these two guys. Here's a look at their heads side by side. They look very similar. Their expressions are very similar. The maquette here is a little less detailed. His nose is a little wider. His teeth are a little gnarlier. So that's why I'm gonna be switching out this head to the classic one, because they are very similar, and I'm trying to go for as many Wolverine looks as possible. So we'll put Mr. PF Wolverine away now. Thank you very much for your insight. So here's the comic book again. As you can see, it's got a very similar pose, a little more dynamic with the statue. In relation to each other, the Hulk is not that much bigger than Wolverine here in this picture. As you can see, this is more to scale. But if you have this comic book or you have a big poster, this would be an awesome piece to display with it. Okay guys, time to show you what happened to this book. So let's take this book out and have a closer look. When I take valuable comics out, I always like to completely remove the Scotch tape. You don't want that sticking to anything. We're gonna slide this out. Okay, so here it is, The Incredible Hulk number 181, the first full appearance of Wolverine, one of the most valuable comic books of the Bronze Age. This book in perfect condition would probably sell for over $30,000. This is a very nice copy. There aren't many defects that I can see. And it's got this right here, the Marvel value stamp. So if you have this comic book as a kid, you might be tempted to cut this thing out and collect it. So having it intact is a good thing. So we're gonna stick this back in very carefully. And now all we need is a little tape. And yeah, we'll tape it up and whoop, and whoop, and whoop. What? I told you guys not to play ball in the house. Look it. It was probably like a 9.2. Now it's probably like a 6. Just kidding, guys.
This is fake.
This is a fake one. I tricked you guys. Sorry, I had to make this video somewhat entertaining. So this is just a printout of the Hulk 181 on top of Alf number 40, a reader's copy. So hopefully this is not valuable, but I don't think so because I messed it up when I was a kid. All right, get out of here with that ball. Take it out. Oh, you messed up my printout. Okay guys, so there you have it. This is the Wolverine vs. Hulk Maquette from Sideshow Collectibles. A definite must-have for any Wolverine fan. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and stay tuned because we've got more Wolverine stuff coming up soon. And if you're not a fan of Wolverine, well, don't worry because we've got other stuff in the works as well. Thanks for watching and we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. I told you not to play ball in the house. You can't laugh at me. What are you guys thinking? I told you guys not to play ball in the house. Come on, man.